Thanks, Mangani. The first witness in the trial of Nigerian pastor Timothy Omotoso took to the stand in Port Elizabeth's High Court today with explosive testimony. Cheryl Zondi was 14 years old when she joined the Jesus Dominican International Church. Well, we have Leigh Paulse for us. She's been following this trial. It took a long time to get going, a lot of anticipation ahead of it. Leigh, tell us about this testimony today.
Well, like you said, Francis, it was a very emotional day at the Port Elizabeth High Court when Cheryl took to the stands. I think a lot of people thought that Ivan Claassen, one of the officials from Home Affairs, would actually be the first witness to be called to the stands. You would know that there was a lot of speculation as Omotoso was said to be an illegal immigrant in South Africa, so we thought that we'll be actually sinking our teeth into that situation first. But we saw Cheryl taking to the stand today. She was very emotional. She broke down several times in court. We got to hear her harrowing story, how she entered the Jesus Dominican International Church when she met Omotoso and when he started physically abusing her and then eventually raping her. This happened at a mission house in Umhlanga. You would know that Omotoso had this house where he had 30 girls staying with him in this mission house, Francis, and on the first night or the first day that she was taken to that house in Umhlanga, Omotoso summoned her to her room. She says that she didn't know why he was summoning her. She was only 14 years old at the time, and she I suppose she was enamored by his presence, by this man, Pastor Omotoso, who everyone said that was a spiritual leader, who everyone said that would, help in their spiritual, belief. And she was really taken by the church and taken about the teachings that were in the church. So when she was summoned by him, she thought that she was a chosen one, she was gifted, and that he saw something in her. But she subsequently found out later on that it was not the case, and that there was actually a sordid, ring that was happening in the church, that Omotoso was not the man who she thought she was. Francis.
This is incredible. Is this just the beginning, Jade? There's a plethora of girls, women lining up to testify against him.
That's correct. There's actually 49 witnesses that are going to be taking to the stand. Cheryl Zondi is the first one, like I said, to take to the stand. We're also hoping to see the Idols twins. You would know those two Idols twins that came out last year saying that they were abused by Timothy Omotoso. There was huge headlines around them as well. So they also said to be, going to be taking to the stand next week. Several other witnesses as well. Like I said, Ivan Claassen, who we are waiting to also take to the stand. You would know that during the magistrate's court, when Omotoso was trying to secure bail, Ivan Claassen did say that Omotoso was illegally in the country. He only handed in 5 of the 6 passports that he had, and that's going to be very interesting to see whether that is in fact the case. We also saw a lot of people saying that somehow the Hawks were also involved in this. We know that Omotoso has a lot of people who are affiliated with the church, Francis. I mean, just this week, yesterday, in fact, we had 2 women who were thrown out of the Port Elizabeth High Court, and then we later on find out that they were actually off-duty police constables who were trying to sit in on court proceedings. So Omotoso really has a large gathering, people who are part of the Jesus Dominican International Church, like those 2 police officers that we saw, and alleged Hawks members as well. But when we spoke to the National Hawks spokesperson when we were still busy with the bail application process of Omotoso, he said that there are internal processes. They are also investigating internally. So it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be coming and speaking about those passports. But just looking at the case itself, we also saw Omotoso's congregation members coming out full force, throwing their weight behind him, and they really believe that he's innocent. They believe that he's a man of God, and this is just a spiritual attack.
Thank you so much for that update, Leigh Paulse. She will follow the Omotoso trial. So in contrast to that stark, harrowing testimony, like she says, some of the congregants still enamored by the former pastor, the pastor now undergoing a trial.